So let's talk about recalls. I've got a recall notice, or at least I've intercepted a recall notice that may go out soon. I guess these recalls go to dealerships first, just to notify them that there's a problem, and then when they find a solution, I guess they send them to the owners. But regardless of how it works, what I do know is there's probably going to be a recall on the HVAC system something. Let's just look at it. New safety recall and stop sale, Solterra HVAC ECU reprogramming. Subaru of America has initiated a safety recall for certain 2023 to 2025 model year Solterra vehicles to update the HVAC control ECU software. That sounds pretty straightforward. Description of the defect and safety risk. The subject vehicles are equipped with heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems that, among other things, control the windshield defroster function. Due to the programming of the HVAC control ECU software, under certain conditions, such as a specific failure mode of the electric compressor, the HVAC system will enter a fail-safe mode that suspends the heater operation of the system and affects defroster function. In some cases, when the vehicle is operated in certain low temperatures, the defrosting performance reduces and may not remove frost, ice, and/or fog from the windshield glass. This can reduce driver visibility and increase the risk of a crash in certain driving conditions. Repair. Subaru retailers will update the HVAC control ECU software at no cost to the customer. For customer satisfaction, dealers will inspect and, if necessary, replace the electrical compressor free of charge. Affected vehicles, a total of 32,320 U.S. vehicles will be included in this safety recall as listed below. And it basically lists all of them. 2023 to 2025, Solterra, March 29th, 2022 to June 3rd, 2025. That's all of them. But before you panic, I want you to look at the term failure mode. So basically, until you get to this point, there's not going to be any problem with your Solterra. So a major number are affected, but a minor problem, and it's only in the specific failure mode of the electric compressor. Again, not likely to happen to all owners. However, because it's a safety issue, they have to stop the sale until they fix the problem. And just so we can identify everything, I think it's really convenient that at the very end of the model year of this version of the Solterra, they're issuing this. It's just poetically convenient. BZ4x owners, I'm sure you're curious. No, you're not safe either. It's the exact same recall for all the BZ4x's. So like many recalls, it doesn't really impact people right away. It's just that in the event that this thing fails, there's another failure. But like all other people who buy cars that they don't know much about, you probably look for a forum, Google, Facebook, and you join one of the forums. And I've done that, all the legitimate Subaru Solterra forums I am in. But my issue with forums, and it's no offense to any owners or no fault of any owners either, but it's kind of the blind leading the blind. I know that there are Subaru officials and Subaru mechanics and Subaru executives potentially getting the information from these forums, but they don't report back, they don't say anything. They're kind of professionally lurking, if you will. And that doesn't really solve any problems. For example, I have a knock right now that when I go over a speed bump, it makes a noise that it probably shouldn't in the left front. Let's see if we can't get it right here. This is just a change in elevation. It's pretty steep, but did you hear it? And I made a post about this in one of the forums, only to be told that this problem has been solved in another one of the forums, but it hasn't. And I took it to a Subaru dealer per the recommendation of the place that I bought it from, which I don't want to take it to them. I will if I have to, but they said to take it to any Subaru dealer. So I took it to my local one, and they didn't drive it, they didn't diagnose it, they just told me that suspensions make noise. So I requested that they take further action, and what they did was they wrote that I'm kind of a loony in their little comment section and gave me a piece of paper. I've never done this before, but that's basically the process right now when it comes to that noise with the Subaru. If you're having that noise, let me know in the comments. And the thing is, I feel like I'm the only person that's having that noise, because when I look up NHTSA complaints on the Subaru Solterra, there aren't any. And maybe our forum needs to be let known that NHTSA complaints are how recalls actually happen. Funny thing, Honda Prologue owners, if you happen to be watching this video because you subscribe to my channel, thanks for being here. We are begging for a recall on the CV joints of the Prologue. It's a known issue. They've been replacing them left and right, but they haven't fixed them or changed a part or done anything that would make it better for owners or fix the actual problem, but the CV joints start to click. So the suspension is a problem on the Prologue, and it's also potentially a problem on the Solterra, at least if this clicking noise isn't normal. Since I couldn't get my dealership to actually drive it and listen to it or put it up on a rack and make sure all the bolts were tightened down, well, I won't know, and they won't work on it. So warranties are cool. It's just that the fact that they exist makes getting cars fixed that are under warranty extremely difficult, because the manufacturer won't pay unless there's a ton of evidence, and the dealership won't do the work unless they get paid, because, well, that's how you stay in business.
And it gets even more suspicious when you go to the NHTSA site. I'm just going to show you how to make a complaint so you can do it in the future, or you can do it now if you have a complaint about your Solterra. But watch when I put this in. First of all, go to NHTSA. I'll put a link on the screen. Start the form, and then you need to enter your VIN, which I will paste in now, and then hit confirm. Now, what I see here is if the vehicle maker model shown does not match that of your vehicle, contact the vehicle safety hotline. And as you can clearly see, it's not shown. This is not a 1900 NANA. So I submitted my claim, and then I called the number. I let them know about the noise at the change of approach angle, the speed, and the fact that I had supporting documents. Next, I noted the date I went to the dealer, the speed I was going when I noticed the noise, the mileage on the car, and I uploaded my dealership request for repair. Next, I entered my personal information, but when I submitted the complaint, I didn't notice that I was submitting it for a 1900 NANA, not a 2025 Solterra. So I called the number, and they said they had manually entered it. They also mentioned something about the manufacturer doesn't pick it up sometimes. Either way, I don't think I'm the first person ever that's tried to make a complaint about a Subaru Solterra, but I am the first person who may get it registered. You'll have to check the site yourself to see if it goes up. I'm not going to wait. I want you guys to have this information. But in the event you want to make a complaint about a Solterra, you'll have to go in, enter your VIN. Hopefully it registers as a Solterra, but if it doesn't, you'll have to call the number after you submit your complaint as a 1900 whatever, especially if you have documents you need to submit. You might as well do it online. It's way easier. But then you'll have to call and tell them to change your complaint number, which you'll get as an email response, to a Solterra, not a 1900 nothing.
Japanese car companies like Honda, for example, recalls their cars regularly. So a recall isn't necessarily bad news. But these complaints and recalls are related to each other. The more complaints that are made, the more recalls may potentially happen, and the more fixes may potentially get made during the early life of the vehicle. And during the later life of the vehicle, you can't make a complaint. These cars are determined to be complete through NHTSA, or the complaints thing is closed. I don't know how that works. Some point in the mid-life portion of the useful life of the car. So
the fact that there aren't any NHTSA complaints on the 2025 Solterra makes me a little suspicious. There are complaints listed for the 2023 Solterra. I got 2 recalls listed, 26 complaints, and they're detailed right here. You can take a look at them. Here they all are. If I type in 2024 Subaru Solterra, there were 8 complaints. And now actually we can go in and look at some of these manufacturer communications. These are the complaints, and some of this stuff gets downright nitty-gritty. But the fact that it's September of 2025 and there's just nothing except the safety ratings is truly bizarre. And it's not like I can click there and it automatically populates for my car. I always have to go through the vehicle link and start a form, which my VIN won't link with NHTSA. And trust me, I copied it off the frame, the windshield, the door placard, and my insurance. Yes, I entered it correctly. In fact, NHTSA confirmed I entered it correctly.
So that's it. There's a potential recall notice. It has been verified by several people that it's probably legit, and it has something to do with the HVAC system. And in the event you've had a problem with your Solterra, the only person that matters that you tell is NHTSA, and I'm going to continue to drive mine just like I am right now, doing my regular daily stuff, like running errands. Right now I have an entire vehicle full of stuff that's ready to go to Goodwill, and I've got to go to Walmart and make a pickup. That's kind of what my Solterra is for. Let me know what you use your Solterra for, or what problems it's had, down in the comments below, and feel free to ask any questions.
Finally, let me know what you think about the fact that the recall happened based on no complaints at the very end of the life of this generation of Solterra and BZ4x. Is that weird, or just coincidence?
Join Patreon or become a YouTube member for early access to videos, and subscribe for more. We'll see you on the next one.
Hey, smash the like button.
Thank you.